This week on Country Music Junkies, I'm happy to be speaking with Mitch Smith from the duo The Orchard. Mitch, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Really pumped to be chatting with you. You have an upcoming album coming out in March, The Great Unknown. That'll be out March 10th. Let's kind of talk a little bit about that and what fans can expect from this, because this is your third album.
This is the third record now, yeah. So we've still been writing all the tunes for the records on, between the two of us. Cash and I will come up with, the vocal melodies and the parts, and I do the lyrics, and we kind of come up with the music together. So in that sense, no different at all. But other than that, we had been looking for the right producer to fit the kind of record we wanted to make, and it probably was about a year-long process. And Kasha had kept, kind of poking at me to reach out to a guy by the name of Jim Scott, who, he had done the Dixie Chicks records, like the latest ones, I'm Not Ready to Play Nice, and a lot of the Tom Petty stuff, and then there's this other band that we're really into called the Tedeschi Trucks Band, and he did both their first records. So, I finally found his email after doing some digging and reached out and really didn't, we both just put it in the back of our minds because we wouldn't really think that we would have maybe gotten a response reaching out on our own to such a heavy-hitting producer. And then about a week later, we did get an email back asking to send some demos for some of the tunes that we had written for the project and what we had done in the past, et cetera, et cetera. And then at that point, I think we were a little bit nervous as to what we should send out and what we shouldn't, because when we make our demos for our original songs right off the top, it's just, an acoustic guitar, a vocal, and we usually use like the voice memos on your cell phone. So to be sending him those kinds of things was somewhat daunting. But we kind of explained where that was coming from and all of that. And, things just evolved and flowed, and it ended up working out. So we brought him up to Calgary to work at a studio just outside of Calgary called OCL Studios. And it went great. So the whole band, we all lived there for a week, got to work with Tim, and then we actually went down to LA once it was all finished and done, and mixed it at his studio down there in LA.
Oh, very cool. That is awesome. Now, for fans who maybe aren't familiar with your music, how would you describe your sound? It's been described as a rock, country, pop, but how would you describe it?
Yeah, I always have a hard time with that, because when we sit down to write songs, we don't go that route. So if something's going to be a little bit more country, then let it be, or all of a sudden we've got a soul style tune on our hands and we just let it be, and we haven't really closed off any borders, but it is listenable, and there's nothing too strange about what we're doing. We just want to make music that feels good. Absolutely. I think that's really the name of the game. Whether it's a ballad, then we're going to want to make sure that it's heart-wrenching, or if it's a fun tune, you want to make sure people can groove to it. So it's all just about the songs that we're writing.
Excellent. And now, with The Great Unknown, again, fans, you can check that out. March 10th is when that is being released. With The Great Unknown, what are some of the stories that you are telling?
Well, there's a song called Your Story that I wrote the lyrics for that at the time she didn't know it, but I actually wrote the song about Kasha, who was going through, when we first started, she was going through a rough patch and a transition in her life. And so the song was written about her. So that was when she finally found that out. I think that's been her favorite song for quite some time. There's a song called Muddy Waters that takes a totally different path, and it's basically about this river in the south that there's there's this woman that lives by the river, and she keeps losing the things that she loves to the river. And the song's called Muddy Waters, and it's basically talking about how her tears have filled the river, and it's very haunting. Her and her boyfriend were down by the river doing something one day, and he slipped and he was gone, and it's just like it's got this swampy kind of really haunting feel to it. So that's another one.
Interesting.
Yeah, we've got another song called Bright Eyes on the record, and it's mainly about just encouraging someone you care about to keep their head up, which kind of fits into your story a little bit. But just to like the main lyric is "Bright eyes, don't cry tonight," and it's all just talking about somebody who's got a lot to live for, and they shouldn't let these little things get them down.
Right. Well, it sounds like there is quite a mix of stories and sound and vocals and all that sort of stuff on this upcoming album. Again, fans, it's out March 10th. You can check that out. Let's talk a little bit about how you guys came together to form The Orchard.
Sure. So there was, so we both live in Edmonton, and for a little while I was teaching a little guitar program out of this vocal studio, and Kasha had used to be a part of the vocal studio at that point. She wasn't at that point, but I had been talking to one of the owners of the company, just saying how I really wanted to, form a songwriting partnership with somebody, and Kasha had already gone through the vocal program and all of that, and so they just hooked us up via phone one day. Actually, I just remember being at Jack's house and him saying, "Well, let's just call her right now." And I was kind of like, "Well, I don't know if we need to call her right now," but so just randomly talking on the phone about writing a song together, and we didn't even know what each other looked like or who we were, and then pretty quickly we found this little songwriting competition within Alberta, and we just like, well, let's try and write a song for this. Not that songs and competitions should ever have anything to do with each other, but I think it was more just a fun and interesting thing to do at that time.
Yeah.
And then from there, because my strong suits are not necessarily hers and vice versa, we just kept it rolling, and there's no looking back now, that's for sure. We're 3 records deep, so.
That is awesome. That is such a cool story, and what a cool way to kind of start your journey together. Now, if fans want to connect with you and check out the album, check you guys out on social media, where would you like them to go to connect with you?
Yeah, if you go to theorchardmusic.com, it will have all of our social media links, for Instagram, which has kind of become our new favorite. Kasha's always posting stuff on our Instagram, which you can find at The Orchard Duo. Same with Facebook, but theorchardmusic.com will have all the direct links to all of that social media, depending, who likes what platform.
Excellent. Well, that is really cool. Again, fans, be sure to be on the lookout for The Orchard's 3rd album upcoming to be released on March 10th. It's called The Great Unknown. Now, Mitch, what is kind of coming our way in terms of touring and performing throughout the summer? Are you guys going to be traveling around? What's on track for that?
Yeah, I'm actually just heading to a meeting here in Edmonton to chat about coming out to Ontario for a bit of a tour, and we'll definitely do that run of BC to Manitoba probably a couple times. We haven't gone past Ontario yet. We've come out there for Indie Week and stuff before, but we'll probably be out there in the spring and all of the West Coast, pretty quick here. We're just getting that stuff together now, and yeah, we've got quite a few Alberta gigs coming up, but looking forward to really pushing this record and getting it out there.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to hearing it. Again, fans, March 10th, it'll be released. Check them out at theorchardmusic.com. Mitch, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you.